Enter their spirit. People are locked in their own world, and dragging them out is oftentimes a challenge. In the early stages of a seduction, you should avoid trying to do this. Instead of trying to bring them into your world, enter their own. The way to lure them out of their shell and set up your seduction is to enter their spirit. Play by their rules, enjoy what they enjoy, adapt yourself to their moods. If you can be subtle enough to avoid them realizing that you're trying to seduce them, they will feel flattered by your efforts and your attention, and they will lower their defenses. In the end, they are in the presence of a person just like them, a mirror image of themselves that understands them. This is what we all want. Once they become addicted to your presence and your attention, change the dynamic. Have them enter your world. Entering the victim's spirit should be subtle. The victim shouldn't be able to tell that you're seducing them. Let them believe that they are seducing you. In the end, you are the one that is adapting yourself to their desires. You seem to be the one that has fallen in love. They will be blinded by your attention and they won't realize that they are being seduced because you seem so compliant and unthreatening. Sukarno was the president of Indonesia, and he was known as the Hitler of Asia. An American journalist named Cindy Adams flew to Indonesia to meet him and to write his autobiography. A man with such a reputation would obviously be cold and harsh, but to her surprise, he was the exact opposite. He was quite nice and charming, and he liked her. He would always wear his military uniform, but he liked how casual she dressed and he began to dress casually around her. He liked the color of her hair, and he asked her to please dye his hair the same color. He also mirrored her moods. It's important to know that the world didn't think highly of Sukarno. His reputation was flawed, but here he had a chance to change that. All he had to do was seduce Adams, and in return, she would rescue his reputation by describing him in a positive way in his autobiography. Sukarno mirrored Cindy Adams in every way he could without seeming manipulative. He dressed like her, he adapted to her moods, and he even dyed his hair the same color. This had a strong effect on her, and his autobiography came out the way he wanted. No one expected the Hitler of Asia to be so charming and lovable, but that's how Adams described him. There had to be some truth to this. Changing the way people think is a challenge. Remember the last time you tried to make another person see things your way. You probably explained your perspective in detail, hoping that the other person would end up thinking the way you did. They might have agreed with you for a moment. They did it for the sake of making you feel good or having you shut up, but they reverted to their own ideas the moment you were gone. Keep doing this and you will see the same results. Why not try something different? Remember that everyone's a narcissist. Try to see the world the way they see it. As we grow older, we become absorbed in our own tastes, opinions, experiences. A hard shell forms around us. Paradoxically, the way to entice people out of this shell is to become more like them. In fact, a kind of mirror image of them. Simply conform to their moods, adapt to their tastes, play along with whatever they send your way. In doing so, you will lower their natural defensiveness. We naturally feel at ease around people like us. People that act and think the way we do make us feel understood and loved. To a seducer, this is of great importance. This is when the victim is the most open and easier to influence. This is the time to attack. Spend more time with the opposite sex. Study them carefully and use this knowledge to figure out what's attractive to them. The greatest seducers in history grew up surrounded by women and had a touch of femininity themselves. NINON de l'Enclos is considered to be one of the greatest female seductresses in history. It's no surprise that she spent a lot of her time around men. She adopted a lot of their interests and behaviors. A lot of them fell in love with her. Men are often seduced by the masculine element in a woman's behavior or character. In the novel Clarissa, a man named Lovelace wants to seduce a young woman named Clarissa. At first, she doesn't like him. He is a rake, and she's a spiritual woman that has no interest in men like him. He was, however, different than what she expected. He helped people in need and he was nice. He approaches Clarissa and begs for her help. He was lost and he wanted to change. He no longer wanted to be a rake. She believed she could transform him, but Lovelace didn't really want to change. This was part of his plan all along. What he did was mirror her tastes, in this case, spirituality. She took the bait and trusted him, and by the time she realized what was truly going on, she was doomed. She had fallen for him. Lovelace seduced Clarissa and he was the one who ended up changing her. By seeming to mirror someone's spiritual values, you can seem to establish a deep-rooted harmony between the two of you, which can then be transferred to the physical plane. To mirror someone, you must pay close attention to them. This intense attention you give them is vanity-boosting. You could be focusing on anyone else, but you're focusing on them. There has to be something special about them. The more you focus on them, the deeper the spell you produce, and the intoxicating effect you have on their vanity. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more.